Okay, I'm back, and yeah, I don't know why it said encoding overloaded. I'm a bit confused about. I'll have to look up later what that actually means, but the videos seem fine, so we are going to just soldier on. Let's go ahead and click. Whoa, whoa! It did not start paused. It was on like the highest possible speed. Okay, so we have a bedroom. Everyone's sleeping in our little forest hovel. Um, I'm wondering. So at this point in the game, we made a shed, and we was it control to go down? I do not remember how to control plus mouse wheel. Yeah, I'm doing that. Come on, buddy. I believe. Control click. Okay, that might be how I do things because that seems a little bit more effective. I want to expand the stockpile. How do we do that? I think you click on. Do I have to be in? There's gonna be a lot of this kind of like no. So we got all these carcasses we need to butcher, so that's definitely a big priority. Don't we have? Oh, I thought we had a butcher table. Control there. Yeah, we do. Oh, I didn't queue up any production, so that is the issue. I wanted them to do this forever, I guess. I don't know if there's any point to not butchering everything that we murder. So, yeah, just butcher constantly. As for cooking, um, how about until you have, and we'll do like 10 times the, let's see, hold, control. Let's do 10 times the amount of settlers we currently have. Okay. So yeah, priorities. Well, we got our main little productions started. We need a cold storage. We need to think about defenses, and we need to think about research. Because if you aren't making research, well, eventually the raids will get to be too big, and they will just wreck you. So, to that end, did I queue up these for harvest? Oh, yeah, they're in piles. So all these piles need to be brought to the storage. I'm trying to... There we go. There we go. And now I want expand zone. So just like click and drag. That's weird looking. Hold on. What did I do here? Control. Oops. Huh. Okay. So the zone wasn't all the way up to the door, I guess, but I'm fine with it being up to the door. In fact, eventually this is just going to be like a shed where we store all of our stuff. So, I mean, can I expand the zone? Okay, I can't expand past the beds, but that's a pretty good start, I'd say. With them being indoors, it does help for preservation. Like if we look at our cabbage piles, they're doing a little better. If they were outside, they would be rotting much faster. So that's something. We got some packed meals. We've got healing kits. I still haven't used the buckler or the sword. Linen, all this stuff. So basically, we need to think about expanding beyond this little tiny dinky fort. I think the first move to consider. What is the first move? There's still some needs that we can't fulfill in this tiny space. They need to have, or I need like research and I need religion. Um, So yeah, like the research table, farming. It's early on, so there's just like a lot of things. Like research, though, is a surprisingly early thing you need to pay attention to. So let's see, RF to rotate. Hard to play this game with a coffee in your hand, that's for sure. I think I'm gonna put it outside for now. Like, I don't think that's ideal in the long haul, but it's, let's see, where I want the stool, I guess right there. Sure. So let's see. Let's do how big is the small table? Because I want them to eat on a table, because that's, like, better for them. We don't need a large table yet. Let's do a medium table. And I guess we'll put it outside for now, near where they're cooking. And then some wooden stools. I think we can have... I don't know if they can sit here, because the leg might get in the way. Well, we'll try it. For now, we'll put 3 down, because we have 3 people. Which probably means we need to cut a little more. What is the cut command? H, chunk. Chippy choppy. So I read, apparently, if you leave trees up, like older trees, younger trees will spawn around them and kind of like reforest the landscape over time. So we're going to try to selectively cut trees. Is that, oh, that's all one? Okay. Because you can replant birch, but you can't replant the others, the other species. I don't know if the species makes much of a difference, but I don't know, we're forest dwellers, right? And it makes sense to me that we would at least attempt to preserve some of the forest around us for the future. So I'm probably going to focus more on birch than the other trees, just because I think that the birch will grow back faster, and be a little selective about it. Plus, we can replant the birch if we have to. That doesn't mean that we aren't going to be expanding, though, and eventually some of the forest is going to get completely cut down, but, that's fine. And I don't want to, well, I'll play on this speed while they're all sleeping, but when they wake up, I might play on medium or even slow speed, just because, it's less overwhelming when things aren't flying around. Let's see. So we got the research queued up. That's good. We don't need any restitutionists because we are all oak brethren. So I'll put this here for now. And apparently you do need backgammon tables. Mostly so people have some form of entertainment and aren't sad. There goes Wiggolf doing his wiggle thing. Animal handling is going up. That's nice. Hopefully, I mean, we're doing a lot of hunting. I'm hoping that we butcher these animal carcasses before they decay. They're already getting a little dodgy. Only 91% fresh. Botany skills going up. Very nice. Wiggle's doing his wiggle thing. Okay. It doesn't look like you actually built this. Oh, I think it's because I'm on... I think if we go up a layer or two, yeah. Okay, you need some entertainment. I don't mind them satisfying their needs. Like getting entertainment done, that kind of stuff. Alright, waiting for resources, 0 out 13. What resources do I need? Fuel, probably. can we edit this and... Alright, I only want them to use sticks as fuel for now. And the reason why is, like, we need wood for building a lot of stuff. So, I'm probably building things way too tight, but, well, you know, it's pretty easy to deconstruct and rebuild and all that. So, we definitely will be doing that going forward. Especially once Wiggles construction gets really good. Now, as for defenses and the like, well, we need the research table first, because we haven't even unlocked Merlons or anything, really. So, I'll let them work on this stuff. I got a lot queued up, actually, so I think I'll just leave it be for now. And, yeah, this is good. Hey, I got an achievement. Nice. Man, I'm good. I'm hoping that I actually set the... So I had to uninstall and reinstall OBS, thinking that it was totally broken. But it wasn't broken. I had broken it myself by I set it up the wrong way. I was trying to like fix something on it, and in doing the fix, I actually broke it worse. So I uninstalled, reinstalled, set everything back up again, then realized what mistake I had made. It was basically in how I was telling. I can't remember the exact terminology for it, but basically I was telling OBS to record off of my Pentium and not off of my graphics card, which was bad. Like, you know, that's it. I needed to go off the NVIDIA card. Okay, cool. So I did see he's able to sit on the chair, even though it's an awkward position if we look here. We get a little shrine up. That's nice. And see, these guys are pretty smart. They know what they're doing in terms of what needs to happen first. We need to worship the spirits of the forest. Yeah. See, everyone's desperate to do that. So, because if we anger them, who knows what horrible... Whoa. It's because I'm zoomed in. But yeah, if we anger them, like, who knows what horrible curses would befall us. So, I do like that we're like a secret pagan cult out in the woods, worshipping like a bloodthirsty oak god. So this, obviously by the 1300s, the pagan like worship had kind of died down a lot in England, but they still had like little local traditions were still definitely a thing. Like maypole dances, for example. That's not like a Christian thing. Like the maypole dance was basically a celebration of Freya, the fertility goddess, and that continued for centuries after Christianity was the majority faith. But this one, so the Oaken Brethren one, it's based on worship of Odin, or Wotan. Is probably what the English of I'd say like the 10th century would have called him. But Odin, and it's because Odin's tree was the oak. So it's kind of neat. This is an alternative history though. Like pagan worship wasn't this direct by this point in time in England. Now the restitutionists are based on a real movement, and it's kind of sad. So just before. Okay, good. We got research. Let's look at it. Okay, so unlock. Right. In order to... Oh, wow. If they're stolen... Oh, wow. So this is kind of a cool mechanic. Basically, the scrolls that you are making determine how much knowledge you actually have. And if you lose the scrolls, or they're like destroyed in a fire or something... you lose the knowledge, which does make a kind of sense. I mean, that makes perfect sense to me. Like, you lose an important tome, suddenly your people don't really know how to do a thing anymore. So, obviously, you need to take care of your chronicles and your textbooks and stuff, and keep them secret and safe. So, we want to get, I think, do we have architecture? No, we need 50, but it's like the first, so we might as well unlock architecture. And see, it's instant, right? we instant. Oh, cool, novice researcher. But once you unlock a tech, you instantly know it. So now we know how to make wooden beams, which is nice because we make bigger houses and stuff. But the next one we want is probably got to be, probably agriculture. The sooner we can start getting like flax and things like that. Beet, carrot, cabbage. I'm surprised though that they don't have peas. And the reason I'm surprised is peas were a very important medieval crop. Peas, lentils, a lot of the pomaces were string beans, like very popular village fare. And if you look at, like I would say that, and it seems like kind of odd, but they were like a very important crop for a long period of time, especially because they're nitrogen fixers. And so like they didn't know why, but they like medieval people knew if you planted peas one year and then came back to that field and tried to plant barley, the barley would grow much better than if you just try to grow barley the whole time. And that's because the peas were putting some nitrogen back into the soil for the barley to then take back up. And that, yeah, like crop rotation was definitely a thing by this point in time. So it's kind of interesting that they didn't know why that worked though, because they obviously didn't know about soil bacteria at the time. But it's funny, like nowadays we know about soil bacteria, yet we still ignore it because we figure out how to pull nitrogen directly from the atmosphere in big. It's called the Haber-Bosch process. Basically, we force nitrogen to bind with hydrogen and become ammonia, and at that point you can process it into fertilizer. The issue though is we've essentially created a system where we spray fertilizer every year. A lot of it just washes out into the oceans and causes all kinds of untold chaos because it triggers these massive algae blooms. And so it's this, every year we get massive growth and then massive die-off, which is not good for the ecology at all. On top of that, it's a very energy-intense process, the Haber-Bosch process. And in order to continue to sustain it, like we're literally using like the only way that we can make enough power to continually do it as cheap as we do it is with fossil fuels. So we're setting ourselves up for a big fall because when fossil fuels eventually become unusable, they're going to be priced out. Basically, we're already getting to that point. Like Shell said that we've hit peak oil, and when British Petroleum is saying that, you know that we're at peak oil. So let's see. I do want to get agriculture first, and then I don't know. We might go for, well, tailoring's important too, but a lot. I mean, in the beginning, a lot of stuff is pretty important, like preserving food and brewing. So once our basic needs, like getting food and all that, are done, we should be better off. So what we should do here, I'm going to set it to amount, and if we look at research, it looks like we need 15, 20, 30. Okay, so I'm going to queue up 30 for now, because that's probably as much as we're going to need for the foreseeable future. And so we'll make those chronicles. We'll need to have a proper library and like a roof library and all that pretty soon. But what I think I'll do is have like a little abbey with a what are they called? Like a Scrivener? No, I think the Scrivener was the actual monk who would copy text. But I'm gonna make like, even though it's pagan, I'm gonna have like a pagan abbey with or monastery, I guess, because abbeys would have been for females, nuns and the like. But like I'm gonna do like a little monastery, maybe even attached to this room. I don't know. For now, and then like eventually we will. Obviously, I want to make it big and proper. Have like a nice actual. I'm calling it a church, but it really wouldn't be a church if we're worshiping Wotan, or Woden. Like, there's all kinds of names for him, but Odin, basically. If we're worshiping Odin, or Othin, I think Wotan is probably the best. That the English people would have called him Wotan. Wotan. But there's different regional spellings and stuff. So we're worshiping Wotan, the god who gave up his eyes to see further, who wields the fearsome spear Grungner. Grungner? I think it's Grungir, actually. Um, I'm probably wrong on that. I haven't really done much with my Norse mythology. I haven't really looked up Beowulf stuff in quite some time. So I will harvest these mushrooms because I'm gonna start building off in this direction a little bit because I want to shield this space. Unfortunately, I don't think I can move this. I think I can only deconstruct it and get some resources back, but I guess that's okay. I don't plan to keep all this stuff around on the outside. It's not a great spot for it. Whoop. I also need food storage. Okay, so far they haven't decomposed. And he's busy. This one might decompose, though. Okay, and Jenny... Jenna, or Jenner, I guess. I do need a basement to store my food in, but I'm kind of wondering if... Do we want said basement? Do we want to dig it out in a random spot, or do we want it to just kind of be dug out naturally because we were mining something? Like this clay up here. But if that's the case, I mean, it's kind of the long distance from where we initially started. So it's hard to say. I don't really want to queue up more jobs. They're already very busy hauling and all that. So. Okay, so we got a ton of little Steam achievements. I hope they're popping up. I forget if I actually set it up right to show the third-party pop-ups. I hope I did. But I'm getting all the little basic achievements so far. I just want to see how their happiness is. Joyful mood. Can I... Let's see, that's his inventory skill. It's this, mood. Initial optimism, well, that won't stay around forever. Really happy with a good job. All his needs are set. Not drinking. Okay. I guess he's happy because he, okay, everyone's happy. There's no real need to... Now, I'm wondering, if we look at jobs and we look at research, Wiggle should really be the one doing it. But he's also our main cook. I might... I want to keep them both cooking, but I might up her priority on that. Yeah, Jenny, I don't know why you're doing any research. I mean, you're not good at the job. I guess it's because he was busy cooking. I might even make him, even though he's a relevant cook, I might back him off on that a bit. And try to get Jenny cooking more. Just because she doesn't have passion for research. I think she has high skill. Intellectual 6, yeah. Intellectual 20. I mean, Henrik really should be the one doing it, but... apparently, though, having even minor passion pays off immensely for skill ups. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna draft you and then undraft. And maybe... Okay, draft you. To move you over here, maybe. And then undraft. No, I don't want you... Henrik. Why are you cooking? You're not all that. I'll just. Dang it! I didn't want Jenny doing it. I want Wiggy Wig. Oh, he's too busy preparing this stuff. Okay. Well, hopefully now that their priorities are changed, like after Wiggolf has done this, he's gonna go to bed probably. You know what? Honestly, I don't mind him doing the carcass because it needs to happen. And Hunrik's hauling. Like, we'll figure this out. I'm leaving hauling like lower. What does steward do? Basic tasks like locking doors, closing windows, extinguishing torches, etc. For now, I'm going to leave those priorities a bit lower because I feel like, as important as hauling is, we need to be doing some other things a little bit more. And this guy, let's see, I gave him 2 auto-saving. Okay. 2 priority on carpentry. I don't have the woodworking table yet. Let's dip that down to 1 priority so he's the one making that stuff. Because that would be good. And they're all sleepyheads. There they go. We do have a bunch of like things going on. Everyone seems pretty happy though. Having a little tipple. Good. Wiggolf is now continuing. That's one thing that basically RimWorld doesn't do, and it's kind of annoying. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact that in RimWorld, if someone starts a task at a crafting bench of some kind, they are the only ones that can finish that task unless you cancel the task, which is very annoying because like they'll get like they'll do a tiny sliver, right, of progress and then walk away from it, and they're blocking someone who's actually better at doing the thing from doing the thing. So yeah, it's not great. We do have a lot of stuff that needs hauling though, so we also have a lot of stuff that needs cooking. I don't know exactly how we fix it. Because like we're getting ash piles, like all these resources are decaying because they are outdoors because we don't have a dedicated hauler. I don't know. I think at a certain point, I might just like force someone to only do hauling for a while. So that we can actually get stuff hauled before it goes bad. Yeah, the food reserves are quote-unquote low, but we got all this meat and stuff lying around. Like, look at all these stew piles. Like, if people would actually put it away. Yeah, as much as I want to research... You know what? No, keep researching. Who should be, like, what are you... Preparing food, okay. Oh, did I pause it? No, I didn't. What food are you preparing at this point? Is Heinrich any good at what he's actually doing right now? He's doing a lot of culinary. He's got skill, but he actually kind of sucks at it. Why isn't Jenner doing it? Because she has really low skill. Alright, Heinrich, I need you to not be cooking. Like ever. I'm going to set you on lowest priority for cooking. And hopefully you'll do something else, like hauling. Actually, that's your main priority. More than anything else, I need you to haul. Because when you're not hunting, you're not really good at anything else, so far as I can tell. So I really need you to just, like, carry all the stuff that's lying around and make sure it's stored so it doesn't go bad. Okay, so now he's doing all the hauling. That's good. And we won't hunt for a little while until all this meat and bones and things are actually put away. Ooh, a little bit of lightning storm coming. So, I don't know if I'm gonna do like putting food on the table. Blam. We got some things. That's nice. Yeah. We also need to get fermentation going. Is that something I can actually do already? Basic butchering base. We've unlocked the wooden beams, so we got that. This is just basic furniture. Okay, we got our leisure stuff. Apparently pyres are pretty important too, because otherwise the bodies start to pile up and commit a body to the hungry flames, reduce mortal remains to dust and ashes. So it's a good way, like, you convert bodies into something useful, and on top of that, it won't take up all your space. Stick trap. Oh, we can do Merlons. So that's a thing. Like, we could start thinking about building out a proper fortress-like thing. I'm just wondering, is there any way we can make use of the terrain for that, though? It does look like, if we look over here, there's this big hillside. We can maybe do like some kind of choke point with that. Like if we built a wall here, it would be pretty difficult, I think, for them to penetrate. Like force them to go. I like this. So we build like we'll build a wall here, and then like a tower or something here, so we can sit up in our tower and shoot anyone coming from that direction. As for the rest of the fortification, it's pretty flat. I mean, there's a tiny little bit over here, maybe. This gets pretty good over here, too, but I think this is going to be a quarry, if I'm being honest. Like, just looking at it, there's a lot of clay and stuff we could be scooping up. So, yeah. Over in the north here is going to be, like, where we build more defenses. And then this part, we're going to have, like, a pretty straight wall, I think, because there's no obvious place to fortify on this side. I mean, there's tiny little bits of earth that are a little higher up that maybe we can make use of, which actually does make some sense. But for the most part, I think we'll start by fortifying this direction with like a tower here. So it'll give them an angle that they can shoot down on people trying to use these ramps, trying to go through here, that kind of deal. And then moving to the north, we have this hillside, which would be an excellent spot for another tower. And then we'll probably just have like a big barrier here. So that's going to be where we build our fortress. I do, in these kind of games, I like to try to make use of the terrain and be smart about that way. So I'm thinking, we'll put a little tower here for now. And that'll be our first, like, big defensive thing. If that makes sense. No, let's see, let's rotate. I'm going to put it like this. I don't know if like they can get through corners, but okay. And then we'll have the tower here. I kind of want it to be central, but also kind of impressive. So maybe like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by 7. How does that look? A little large, actually. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. It's not the worst. I'm not sure why we would need to build the tower that large, though, and we probably should be a little bit... Why is it... Oh, it's just lagging. Okay. We should be a little bit conservative with how we utilize our stuff at the beginning. So let's wall that off and maybe put a stairway so we can get up on this little platform, and we'll clear the brush out of it so we have a nice clear view. This actually this is a very important job from medieval times, the gardener. You might be like, well, why was the gardener important? Was it just like the nobles being all like weird about plants? No, the original gardener, the actual job of being quote unquote a gardener for a castle, had nothing to do with ornamentation and like making the place look nice. It had everything to do with clearing trees away from the outer castle walls. Because if you don't clear those trees, well, what's going to happen is enemies could sneak up and use the trees to climb up your walls. It also allows armies to like hide as they approach in the forest. So the gardener's job would be to go around and clear cut. He had like a whole little team of foresters to go out and kind of chop back forests so that you would have a good view of approaching armies. And that was the original gardener. And it's actually related to the term guardian. So, just like a fun little fact. Let's see, I did want a wooden stair. How big are the stairs? Do we put it one back? What if we rotate? Kind of like it there. How does that look? The only issue is eventually I need to like put a gate or something for this ramp. And that might be crowding it a little bit to have the stairway right there. The other thing we have to think about is, so I read if you put wooden floors on top like that, then you can put the merlons, which are, what's this, defensive? Where are the merlons? Here. Right? No? Warfare, okay. Then you can put merlons along the edges, supposedly. Maybe I'm wrong here. Oh, that did it. Yeah. If you don't put the floor, though, you can't do that. So I don't mind having these merlons. Like so. It's a little tricky. Because it... Okay. Yeah. And that's the start of our fortification. Now, I'll probably end up changing that setup a lot. Just because it's very tight in here. The more I think about it, almost feels too tight, right? Because I'd like to be able to have a proper gate and have this be a little bit further back so that we can shoot down on people. Okay, let's cancel. Cancel everything. Okay. Let's try that again. So that and that, and if we are pushing it back, maybe like this then. Yeah, and then we could even like do that as well. I like that. That feels better than the initial setup, because that feels more like how you would kind of like build things. Because back in medieval times, the way surveyors actually like kept straight lines like involved rope. Basically, you would like pull a rope taut, and that would be the straight line that you would follow. And so they didn't. Castle walls didn't always really follow the exact terrain as much. They did in some places. I mean, it kind of depends on what the architect wanted to do with everything. But I personally like this a little better because I want to encourage them. Excuse me. I want to encourage them to try and use this ramp. Well, okay. I know I'm being like fussy here, but when have I been reasonable about my base builds, right? If you're watching my Subnautica series, you know how it goes. Oh, it lags. I gotta remember that. I think I'm gonna leave this like that. I like how it's cut straight across. We might have like a little corner of some kind eventually here, but for now I'm gonna just wall that off. Alright, I'm gonna cancel that. And we will eventually build the wall like that. But I think this is sort of the best way to go. It does kind of look nice. I don't hate it. Maybe we remove the... Okay, we'll do that. And then L for can't sell, I guess. There's a little bit of lag when you try to do that. There we go. Okay, yeah. Yeah, this is feeling right. And this will be like a very minor kind of... it isn't going to be a main gate. It's going to be one of the side gates. Now, if you're wondering, like, where would someone put... Oh, I want a door, not a window. The door here. You want to put sideways. Not directly at the end of the ramp, but sideways to the ramp. And there's a very good reason for that. It makes it much easier to sit inside the door and attack people going up the ramp if you're attacking them from the side than if they can charge straight at you. They lose all their momentum of the charge if you have it perpendicular instead of parallel to the direction of movement. So that's why castles always had these like little like setups, right, where there'd be... Oh, did that not... There we go. There would be like a little side door, and then the ramp would go down perpendicular. It's to stop charges from being able to charge at the door easily. The other reason is if you have a battering ram, well, there's no place to stand and hold the battering ram going this way where my mouse is going. Whereas if you have the other way, it's feasible. You could ram the thing easier. So yeah, that's the whole deal with that. Now I'm gonna do wooden floor because I think it looks a little bit nicer than the alternatives. And the reason I want the wooden floor is I want Merlons. And you need the wooden floor to attach Merlons. If you don't have it, I believe you can't actually put the Merlons out. In fact, we can test that theory. So let's say we have this here, no floor. We go to the fence and war and stuff. It won't snap on the side it just wants to go down, and there's like, no, well, that almost looks right. No, it was behind it. Yeah, you can put the Merlon on the top, but not attached up on the top to the side like that. Not without a wall. So, cancel. And, whereas if you have the floor, then you can attach the Merlons. It's just like a peculiar... I mean, it makes some sense, right? Like, the floor is almost acting like an extra bit of structure to hold everything. So, now this one's a little tricky because we need to, like, face our Merlons the correct direction. So what are Merlons? Well, they're murder holes. Basically, they're little extra structures that hang outside of the main wall of the castle with a hole underneath them. And so people could stand on the wall, look down the Merlon, and fire, but they would still have cover from arrows and stuff coming at them. So, you know, and you can see the hole there. And the cool thing about this game is they actually function just exactly that way. Let's see, select variant. There are corner variants, so let's make sure we get the corners aligned all properly. Can't quite tell in the preview what's going on with that. Oops. Yeah, the one issue with like 3D stuff is it can be a little bit tricky. Okay, that's good. I think that's all the corner Merlons we can really manage. So this little bit right here, I might just put in a floor. Yeah, let's just put in a wooden floor. So they can easily, like, get around the outer edge of the castle walls there. That looks pretty good. And we'll continue that and upgrade it once we get stone and all that. But that'll be like kind of the start of our walls. I suspect... Oh, we do need a stair to get up there. Putting one there would be perfect. Will it fit, though? Looks like it. Now, do we want the stair like that, or do we want it like so? With a little bit of an edge hanging out. Let's put it like this. Alright, cool. And so now that stairway will give us access to all this fun stuff. Let's unpause and let the construction begin. He's still hauling like crazy. I don't mind that so much. Like, we gotta get all these berries and stuff into storage. So let's let that happen. And I don't mind him doing research because there's a lot of things we need to unlock early game. I wonder, do we want to put in... Make this extra nasty and put in, like, a couple little spike traps. Yeah, I like that. Just, you know, extra little defensiveness. Now, of course, knowing my luck, we'll be attacked from the north or something, and then this will be practically useless, but I don't mind getting started at least on our defensive structures, the outer wall. Now, over here, this is interesting because I do want to, like, kind of quarry this clay, but maybe we'll leave this clay, actually, because this ramp is useful, and I don't know if you can actually build earth ramps. It might be something they add in the future, but I am not sure about the current build of the game. Alright. There goes Wiggle doing his wiggle thing. Ooh, we got like a big downpour. Crazy. But, so I'm going to let them finish chopping these trees, building this thing, and that's going to be the end for now. I know we actually didn't get much done in this hour because I was talking too much with like about the history of things and stuff, but you know, why not? Why not? I don't mind this being kind of more chill paced. Like, I've seen Let's Players like who are doing like ultra fast speed, 30-minute playthroughs, and I don't know if that's my style. You know, I kind of like not feeling too rushed in these sort of games. Like, I don't mind relaxing and like watching things take place. Wiggolf is going to be so good at construction after this is done. Well, can you imagine if you could build like a whole like wall in one day? It's kind of a superpower. Ooh, I don't know if you can hear the storm outside. It's that monsoon I was telling you about. Like, it's crazy. Like, we basically have, you know, I live in the Carolinas, and I think we're turning into a subtropical, if not tropical, climate. Like, we'll go like basically in December, it never dropped below 80 degrees. We had like 1 or 2 days of 40-degree weather in April, of all days, but like January, nah, it was in the upper 80s, and now what would normally be early summer, where it starts to get like dry and hot and sunny, we're getting like every afternoon a massive downpour goes through. It's like the climate is just changing before my very eyes. Not to mention, like, they're basically the city council of you know, Charleston is talking about abandoning parts of the city to the ocean. Like, they're literally having a meeting like this week to figure out, like, do we rezone parts of downtown Charleston so that they are no longer allowed to be built on because of the threat of flooding. So it's getting nuts out there. You know what I mean? All right, I'm gonna chop those trees. It's the beginning of the apocalypse, and I know that sounds like, I'm sure people are hearing that like, oh, he's being like ridiculous, like, but no, like, the climate is going to change so radically in such a short amount of time. I can only describe it as the apocalypse. Like, I mean, by 2100, which is insane, like, people alive today are going to see an Earth that is almost entirely desert. With the only areas that humans can really like survive being the Arctic Circle. And almost all ice on the planet will have melted by that point. So we'll also see like Florida, the state of Florida is gonna be gone. Most like where I live now will be gone. They're already starting to abandon it. Yeah, I mean it's literally hundreds of millions, if not billions, of climate refugees are going to like pour into the Arctic Circle. Canada will be one of the most populated countries on the planet. Russia will be a superpower. Like, America will be pretty much entirely desert, except for like Minnesota and the Great Lakes region. Global food collapse. This stuff is going to happen. Like, it started. I mean, you saw like with Australia, like having the largest wildfire of all time, and yet people are sitting on their hands acting like it's a joke. Still breaks my heart. Anyway, enough doom and gloom. We can escape the sad reality we're facing by playing video games. It is sad though. Like countless species are about to go extinct, and it's very preventable. Well, it was preventable. It no longer is. But out of the ashes of the collapse of our current civilization, maybe we will finally unite and wake up as a people, realize that, you know, we weren't meant to exploit the environment just to suit our needs. We're meant to be its stewards, to defend it, and that we'll find like our real purpose in colonizing out there in the stars and terraforming planets and basically spreading life to the universe. That's my dream, anyway. We'll see if that actually comes to pass. It's either that or we go extinct. I mean, like, there's literally no other way to describe it. So, you mishandled that planting. Wow, how dare you? Let's see. We got wood piles. What is this? Like a ivy shrub? We can. Oh, that's interesting. We can cut down for sticks. Might as well. Okay, well, we got the start of our defenses. Obviously, we're not really, and the phone's going off, we're not really fortified as of yet. Like, if I really want to fortify, I would build this wall, and then I would feel like much more defended. I wonder, how much effort would that involve, building like a wall that went like from here I kind of want it to start here. Let's cut this grass. Heck, cut all that. All this too. So we can use that grass for thatch, which will be nice. And we're gonna need a lot more timber for what I'm planting. So unfortunately, some of these trees are gonna suffer. I want to leave a couple though, just for regrowth and sustainability. But I do need more. More timber. Because I got big plans here. I'm thinking, okay, well, this is gonna be like a lot of trees getting chopped, but did it actually register those? Okay. So I'm going to queue up this big old wall project. I'm probably overbuilding, if I'm being honest. I do need to watch that. We only have the 3 people. Like, they're going to have trouble hauling all the stuff that I'm harvesting. So kind of want to do like this. Not like that. It's hard to get the right angle. Okay, yeah. That looks pretty legit. And then oh shoot, okay. Oops. I don't need walls that tall. Thank you very much. Click and drag. Thank you. It only lets you drag the walls out so far. I realize this is probably a massive project that I'm queuing up. So I'm kind of questioning it, but the same time, now do I want to do that, or do I want to make this a bit more straight across? Okay. I do want it to be a little bit more straight across. I think it'll look nicer. At this point, you almost think, like, why am I building all of, well, I guess it will still incorporate that hillside, but we might even do a little extension, like, out like this. Sometimes you would see that kind of stuff, where it's like, they build the initial wall, and then they expand it outward. I also want, let's see, H for cut, which is, or chop, okay. I gotta remember that. And J for cut plants. Let's get these delicious mushrooms. And hay. And if this isn't alright queued up. I think it is. Okay. This is a massive project, probably foolish to queue up this early, but let's let them have at it, huh? And see how that goes. I suspect that we're going to have to like spend a lot of time hauling all this stuff, and we're not doing any research right now. It's all about that hauling. To defend this little like tiny cabin too. That's the funny part about it. But I kind of like the idea of getting our initial borders completely secured and set up. Even though it's going to be like just kind of huge. Like we could, instead of building this wall, we could be spending our time on like building a cellar, getting farming going, that kind of stuff, but I chose this. I chose this life instead. Got some stick traps and stuff going on. Now none of this is gotten picked up, which almost makes me think maybe my own settlers can't access this door. I don't know. If they can't, we'll have to redesign some of this stuff, but I do need an easy access between here and this forest. So let's build another. We'll put a wooden door. Like right there. Alright. So hopefully this project wasn't like a fool's errand, and we will we'll be okay with this, but I am feeling like maybe this is like an awful lot of... Okay, they can get through the door. That's good. I think I'll put a staircase here as well. Stairs are blocked. Is that true? Can they not go up these stairs? That'd be unfortunate. It might be true though. I don't. Well, no, because how did they get up here in the first place to cut down the trees? That's probably just a bug. All right. Well, I'm gonna call this an episode because well, it's time for me to go get dinner going. So, kind of excited about this though. Sorry for all the climate doom and gloom. I do think ultimately it could be a massive opportunity for our species in a lot of ways because it's going to force us to think more globally and also to learn like effectively the technology we would need for terraforming is the same technology we need to save the planet from climate change. So if we don't go extinct, then we can count on like basically it's either we go extinct or we end up becoming a type 1 or even type 2 civilization that's capable of colonizing the galaxy. That's basically the two potential outcomes of the next century. So I'm hopeful. I do think people are starting to think more globally. They're starting to think about the planet not as small like nations, but as a single entity. So, here's to hoping. But yeah, I do need to get going though. I got family dinner to get to. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. And yeah, this has been some more Going Medieval. I think for the next part, I might let it run off camera for a little while, get these walls built, and then we'll start thinking about ramping up our little like castle thing. This isn't really a castle thing, is it? But like just ramping up our supremacy of the map. Like we'll get farming unlocked, we'll start build like nice little farms, that sort of thing. Because spring is, let's see, we're on day 4 of spring. We're doing all right, but like in terms of having like all these crops gathered up and actually getting like proper summer clothing made, like obviously like we need to get more people, so that'd be a nice thing if we manage. Man, his construction is just launching into orbit. Look how fast he builds now. Bam. So yeah, we'll get the walls, the wooden walls all finished, and then start thinking about kind of making a more permanent setup for our little village / civilization thing. If that makes any sense. Maybe get some more towers and stuff. I know I'm very defensive oriented, which is probably not necessary. I should, like, honestly, a better way to go about would have been like very quickly getting food storage a bit better, unlocking all the research for farming and stuff, instead of building this massive wall that's taking up all of our production. But I'm proud. I like this like little like setup. I think it'll be nice to know that we can't really be attacked from this direction that easily. So, oh, did the door get canceled? Because I did need a door here. I'm thinking that's what the complaining earlier was about. Maybe it's still queued up. I can't tell though. It is in there. It's in there. Wait, did it get built and then there's like a wooden door that stayed around? What happens if I deconstruct? Let's see what happens. I mean, we can always deconstruct it and then, like, find out, oh, there's no door, and then, like, fix it up somehow. Golf is building random nonsense instead of building, like, the parts he needs to actually build. Okay, is the door still there? No. I did destroy our door. Oops. Okay. Can I just put the wooden door in without... There we go. Yeah, there's still, I mean, it's early access. This is understandable that there's going to be, like, random weirdness happening. We should probably put a proper gate here, right? With, like, an extra little keep section, some towers and stuff. I mean, for now, this is just going to be, like, an outer fence, basically. Or, whatever you call it, oh, there's a special name for them. It's... I can't want to say pavice, but that's not true. I think it starts with a P. Anyway, it's basically a wall made out of wood that you can quickly put up that the Romans invented for fighting in Germany. I don't... Germania. I don't really remember the name of it. Oh well, oh well. So, man, we spent all our time and energy on this wall, though, and I feel like maybe we do need to get back to doing research and stuff. I'll leave it half finished. I'll get the wall put up, at least. And then we can figure out other things, like building a basement. We need quarries, too. So, the quarries can wait, though, for when we need, like, limestone and stuff for building a proper castle. And this initial wall is going to get torn down and replaced at some point. I might even, like, dig up this little section of hillside, that kind of thing. Oh, let's end it with Wiggle building the staircase. Nope, he's going to bed. Okay, you know what? I think this is a start for now. That's a decent one. I like that we have this little, like... I know for a fact that people aren't going to easily come from the west. So, that's a nice thing. Next, we'll be getting the north sealed up, which shouldn't be too bad. The east and the south are going to involve a lot of construction, I think. So, that's a little frustrating. But at least from the west, we're fairly well defended. But yeah, this has been our Hexam, right? And thanks for tuning in, everybody. And I'm just gonna hit. We did have an autosave there, but I'm gonna save it just one more time and then quit. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, everybody, and cheers. This has been Going Medieval. Stuart out.